Kyle Shanahan spoke after the game. That was the main event. So let's talk about what Kyle Shanahan said. I asked him a bunch of questions. I thought Kyle Shanahan, to his credit, was extremely prepared for this press conference. He ducked us for a few days, but it seemed like he was prepared, and his whole thing was, I'm going to be contrite. I'm not going to be snarky. I'm not going to be snarky. I'm not going to be snarky. I'm going to be emotional and submissive. Like, he didn't fight anyone until the very end, and I give him credit for that. But I think what he was trying to project was, I feel bad about what happened to Trey Lance. He even said, like, I brought him here, which was a very interesting moment. He said, I brought him here. It was my, I believed in him. And I asked him, what would he have done differently? He said, well, I wish I hadn't got him injured in the fourth preseason game as a rookie. So he had moments of honesty and introspection, which I appreciated. But I feel like the main emotion that he was expressing, that maybe he didn't come out and say explicitly, but he expressed, was, I think he was chagrined that Trey Lance wanted out. I think Kyle Shanahan thought that Trey Lance would accept being the 49ers' third-string quarterback. Because essentially what happened is that Trey Lance chose to go be the Cowboys' third-string quarterback. Right? They have Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush started games for them last year. They like Cooper Rush. Maybe they think Trey Lance will be better than Cooper Rush, who's like 30. But not right away. Lance has to learn the system. So he's going to go to Dallas and be third string. And I think what happened was the timing of it. Kyle strung Trey along. Kyle said on KNBR this week he wanted Trey to stay on the team. I think he felt that if he made this announcement as late as possible, he could say to Trey, look, yeah, you're my third-string quarterback. If you don't want to be here, your choice is to be a third-string quarterback somewhere else. What do you want to do? And I think Kyle thought Trey would say, all right, when you put it that way, it's better to be a third-string quarterback on a good team in a system I know than somewhere else. But I think what Trey essentially said was, fuck you. I would rather be a third-string quarterback on any other team than this one. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't trust you guys. I don't think you have my best interests at heart. And if I were Trey, I would have made the same decision. I would rather be third string on a team that believes in me than third string on a team that thinks Sam Darnold's better than me. Because God love the 49ers. But I don't think the Cowboys had any interest in Sam Darnold. They wanted Trey. And they got Trey for a freaking bargain. And now Trey gets to go somewhere where they're interested in him, where they're excited about him, and he gets out of an organization that clearly wrote him off. And I know Kyle likes having his options, and maybe he felt he might want to like drunk dial Trey at 2 a.m. one night on a, when he was out of options, but Trey said, no, thank you. I'm done. This is a toxic relationship, and you can try to string me along as long as you want, but I'm done. So I got to say I respect Trey. And I bet you Kyle respects Trey more than he did a couple of days ago. I think he really thought that Trey would be the submissive one and say, hey, whatever you say, coach. I'd love to be your third-string quarterback. This is the right situation for me. But no. He essentially said, fuck you. I'm out. Is overdue. I respect it. I think Kyle's got to respect it too. And what's crazy about it is the first question I had for Kyle was, why did you end the quarterback competition before the last preseason game? You said it was a competition. We asked you on Wednesday. You said you weren't going to name a winner of the competition until 90 minutes before the first game, and then the next day you call it for Darnold before the final preseason. Why? And Kyle said, it was clear. It was clear. No, it fucking wasn't. No disrespect. But I was at every practice. People who were at every practice did not see it that way. A lot of us thought Trey Lance was better. Some of us thought Sam Darnold was better. But there was no consensus there. The idea that you could just shut down the quarterback competition before the third preseason game and say that there was a clear winner is silly. It's not real. It's fiction. And that's the part of the explanation I don't understand. I appreciate you going out there and being contrite and giving the media 15 minutes, but like, how in the world did you decide that it was smarter to keep Sam Darnold than Trey Lance. Because Darnold outperformed him? No, he didn't. I was there. He didn't do that. That never happened. That's fiction. It's totally made up. So you might have some other reason that you kept Darnold. Maybe it was financial. Maybe it was personal. But just say it. Because he did not outperform Trey Lance in camp. He did not outperform Trey Lance in preseason. And if the Niners tried to trade Darnold, they would have gotten a conditional 6th-round pick at best. Because the league knows him. The league's seen him. They've seen Trey Lance. And Trey Lance has more value. Because Trey Lance is a better quarterback. And he has more upside. So the Niners deliberately chose the weaker quarterback. Why? So good for Kyle for being contrite and taking some responsibility. But, dude, you just chose Sam Darnold over Trey Lance. And the Cowboys are so happy that you did. Because they had no interest in Sam. But they did have interest in Trey, and they got him for nothing. So I appreciate Kyle talking. John Lynch talked. Good for them. But it's just a really bad day for the Niners, and they didn't actually explain how they could keep Sam Darnold over Trey. Do you understand it? I don't understand it. You've seen him play. Who do you think is better? Nick Flores says, can someone ask how exactly Kyle and John take accountability? By saying it. Joseph Stockbridge says, I'm going to pull out all my emotional and possibly monetary investment. And I'm going to put all my emotional and possibly monetary investment in my new AFC team, the Jags. Love this content, though. After Shanny wins a Super Bowl or Jed fires him for not, I'll have respect for this organization. Me too. Caesar says, did Kyle and John sound sad to you? Kyle sounded sad. He legitimately sounded chagrined that Trey Lance chose being the third-string quarterback for the Cowboys and over being the third-string quarterback for him. I don't think Kyle saw it coming. I don't think John gave a damn. I don't think John ever wanted Trey. I think John wanted to trade him a long time ago. I don't think John cared. That's his business. The Shears Report says, Grant with the fire question to Lynch. Thank you. Kyle still snarky at the very end. Someone asked, hey, on that final drive against the Broncos, when you didn't let Trey punch it in and you kicked the field goal, do you feel that was a missed opportunity to evaluate him? And Kyle, who had been acting so well all night, finally says, no, we evaluate him every day in practice. I should have done it for you, though. I should have done it for you, and walked out. So close, Kyle. You almost had us believe that you were upset and sad and, you know, but you're not. So, good try. Dalton Coleman Film says, we tried to give Trey ops and it didn't fit our system. He needs more reps to improve translation. We didn't try. We don't care. And you'll sit even when we are beating the Rams and Jags by 3 scores. That is true. That's 100% what happened. Josh Milgram says, I like the Hanukkah reference. You also Jewish? Little known fact, had a bar mitzvah.